to another Cooking Connection virtual cooking class. Now, we've done a lot of classes. If you've been with us from the very beginning, we started back in November of 2020, and we've come a long way. And I'm excited to say this is probably one of my more favorite classes. Honestly, all the classes upcoming are going to be my favorites. There's a lot of great stuff going on. With me, as always, on this culinary journey, my culinary compadre, Charlotte Samuel. Thanks for being here, as always.
Thanks
Charlotte,
for having me.
Thanks for being around. We do have a very special guest. It is the season of special guests. You'll remember, I'll regale you with a tale of back in January. We had our fabulous dietitians and these great in-store services they provide and all these good things. Still have not made my appointment, but I am going to look at doing that in the future. Great guests, great things going on. I'm excited because tonight we have a culinary giant in our midst, somebody who's been cooking for years, 30 plus years, 36 something years. Anyway, really excited to be here.
Since she was born.
I'm a little intimidated to cook side by side with this person. We're excited because she's here, so she's going to help me out today a little bit, be my hands for Father's Day. And obviously, this class is all about Father's Day. Before I introduce her, I set her up for a big setup. We have a lot of great recipes we're going to do, and because it is in honor of Father's Day. Now, if you're watching this after Father's Day on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/HEB rather, you can go back and watch this, and we hope you had a great Father's Day for those of you that celebrated Father's Day. And if you don't, or you did not, or you just missed out on it, this are great recipes you can use anytime, not just for Father's Day, for any special occasion, or even to switch up your old weeknight routine. So, in order to help me out, you should have 4 recipes in front of you. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. I got 4 recipes in front of me. So I'm gonna have our culinary giant come out here, and she's gonna help me out. So come on out here. If you'd introduce yourself, what should we call you?
Piper.
Oh, Piper. Okay, that's easy. Not like culinary guru or the Miss Chef something title. Fill in the blank there. No, just Piper. All right.
Piper the Great.
Piper the Great.
Wonderful,
Piper, how
Chef
old are you?
Piper. Chef Piper.
9. I just said all that stuff that you had all this culinary background. How could you be only 9? We got our papers mixed up clearly. No? All right. Piper's my daughter, and because it's Father's Day, she's a very special treat. She's going to be my right hand and sometimes my left hand during this whole demonstration. I'm going to have her read the recipes, and I'm going to explain them exactly what's going on to you guys as we go. All right, she's going to read me the heading. We're going to start with which one?
Candied bacon.
Candied bacon. I'm very excited. Candied bacon is
before we get started, I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
So, with you is Piper, your daughter,
yes,
right?
Yes, she
and
is.
She's going to help you cook for Father's Day.
Yes.
So, for Father's Day, you cook.
Yeah, so...
For Mother's Day, do you cook?
Yes, I do.
Piper, does he cook for both of those?
Yes.
Although this Father's Day...
Except Father's Day. I'm cooking.
She's going to cook for Father's Day.
So Piper is cooking.
So if you're keeping score out there, Mom got 2 breaks. One for Mother's Day, one for Father's Day, because Piper's going to pick up the Father's Day slack. Can you tell everybody what you're going to make me?
I'm going to make chicken, baked potatoes, and salad.
And what kind of dressing on the salad?
What's
in your dressing? It doesn't have a name.
Olive oil.
Okay. I'm with you. So far, I'm with you on the journey.
And then
it has
lemon juice,
garlic and lemon juice.
Garlic and lemon juice.
And then mustard.
Mustard, and then Worcestershire sauce. What is that? What does it have? Worcestershire sauce. You mix it all up. It's delicious. I'm super excited. All right, so candied bacon. So what is candied bacon? So since we are celebrating Father's Day, it's something a little out of the old routine. So what you do is you take 6 pounds of bacon. You can see the recipe. 6 pounds of bacon, 3 pounds of Skittles, 4 pounds of Hershey's Kisses. You throw it in an oven, 550 degrees. In about an hour and a half, you've got candied bacon. Yes or no?
No.
No, not quite, not quite. So
that's right.
Candied bacon's really delicious. As you can see on the recipe, honestly, this is just taking something that's really good. So I'm going to grab the bacon real fast because I want to show you. Piper, you stay there. Keep the focus. Keep the focus. So candied bacon starts with, of course, bacon. So the bacon we're going to use now, you grab that one. I'm going to show you this one. So this is what the recipe calls for, right? This is a fantastic product, HEB, original thick cut bacon. You want thick cut bacon for this recipe because Honestly, for the candied bacon, the way we're going to cook it, you want something a little bit more substantial to hold up to the sugar that's going to get glazed and become crispy and delicious on top of the bacon. However, if you're shopping and you see this, and you happen to glance over and see this, hold it up, that's the Pitmaster bacon. If you see that at your local H-E-B, and you're lucky enough to have the Pitmaster bacon at your local H-E-B, swap this for this, because this makes awesome candied bacon. That's my one tip. Obviously, we're going to use the Pitmaster bacon. We're going to do it in a second. All right, next recipe. Next
so
one.
all bacon is not created equal, is what I'm hearing.
Bacon's bacon, right? We know bacon is good and everything, crumble it up, but there's certain bacon you need for certain applications. Thick bacon for candied bacon is what you want. Also known as millionaire's bacon. If you've ever been out to California, certain restaurants call it millionaire's bacon, which is a thick
there we
cut
go.
piece
I
of
know
bacon.
what we're talking now.
Same idea.
Is it for billionaires?
No, it's called millionaires. Hello, not billionaires. We have to call it billionaires bacon.
Millionaires?
Millionaires. Only ours is regular old humbled candied bacon. We don't put any labels on our bacon, just candied bacon. All right, next one.
Don't add Skittles.
Don't add Skittles. No, I'm not going to add Skittles.
Or
It's true
any
story.
kind of candy.
Just the sugar.
Got
Just
it.
sugar.
All right. Next recipe you should have in front of you.
Charred onion and red pepper.
Pico. Pico. So pico de gallo. So really, really simple.
Pico.
I love this recipe because not only is it great as a condiment to use on things, but also you could eat it with what? Sounds like one word, one syllable, two, depending on how you pronounce it. Chips. Chips. You could use chips. Also great dip is chips. Now you can chop this any way you want to. If you want to add the charred onion and red pepper pico to a salad, you can. I'm going to show you how I like to chop it up, and it's great for a lot of different things, but it's a fantastic recipe. And it's going to go on top of our chicken, which is the next, nope, wait, there it is, right here. Next recipe that we're going to do is, this is a lot of words.
Grilled chicken with smoky toasted fennel rubs.
Smoky toasted fennel rubs. That was a mouthful. So we're going to take our fennel, which I have right over here. So Piper, you've had a lot of fennel. We do a lot of cooking with fennel. You may not recognize the herb smell off the bat. Got to take the freshness seal off and we can smell it. So fennel is a slightly licorice flavor. What do you smell when you smell that? So it's got a really great flavor. Now, if we carried at our H-E-B's fennel pollen, you can see it every once in a while, but it's really hard to find. Fennel pollen is what it's really the best thing to use, but if you cannot find it, which you probably will not be able to find unless you buy it
I
usually
smell
online.
some salt, pepper,
Some
and
salt, pepper.
some other
Botanicals, herbs, would you say? Good words,
Some more.
good words. So
You said it for me. So.
I said it before, I did. That's called teamwork right here. It's called a pair. It's called how you do it right here on Father's Day.
Sure.
So fennel, that's right, you're helping. Kid, I'm telling you, this kid's going to keep you in check the entire time.
You know,
Don't worry,
I
it's going to be
thought
entertaining.
that I gave you a hard time, but
Oh, no.
now
Oh, no.
I see how it really
You
goes.
just wait. You'll see how things really go in my house. This is a little preview, and this is almost a reality TV show at this point. Exactly. what's gonna
Judgy.
happen here.
I'm the judgy person.
She's the judgy person. We're gonna toast some fennel because that's what's gonna go on top of the chicken. It's good. We're gonna use chicken thighs. Why do we like chicken thighs? Because it has that dark meat. It's gonna stay a little more tender. It's gonna stay a little more juicy. It's got the little fat in there. Those are gonna get grilled up. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Piper's gonna help me with that one as well. She's gonna be my hand. She's got these perfect. Look at these hands. These perfect little delicate seasoning hands. My hands are big banana hands that sometimes don't handle things delicately. So she's going to be my seasoner tonight. And the last, but certainly not the least, the last thing we're going to do with that last recipe out there.
Wow, that's just a long word.
It's a long one. You thought you got off
Grilled
easy, right?
shrimp with warm bacon, scampi, vinaigrette.
Good words, kid. All right, grilled shrimp. We're doing a little grilled shrimp with the warm bacon scampi vinaigrette. So the way we're going to do this is, what I love to do with this exact recipe is you can do a couple things. Number one, so it's great as an appetizer. So on Father's Day, or if you're entertaining any holiday, it's a great appetizer to kind of get on the grill. You don't have to grill it if you don't want to. I'm going to use the peel and deveined, sustainably sourced shell-on shrimp. So they have the shells on, they're peeled and deveined, no heads, still have the tails. And the reason why I like to use the shell-on shrimp, because they kind of act as a natural insulator on the grill. So when I fire up the grill, you've got this little package that kind of keeps it from getting too charred. And honestly, the shrimp shells impart so much real depth of shrimp flavor to the actual finished shrimp. And I love to actually eat the shells. I like fried shrimp heads. I know it's weird to say, I never thought I'd say that because I'm not a big crawfish fan, but shrimp heads, fried, yummy, right? Nope, she's like,
Are
not
they
with you on that one.
crispy and
They're crispy
crunchy?
and taste like shrimp. They're delicious. All right, the
Okay,
warm bacon scampi
all
vinaigrette.
right.
The great thing about this recipe is you can double this. Now on a regular weekend, weeknight, you can turn this into a pasta dish by doing the exact same recipe and serve it over some cooked linguine, spaghetti, a little extra butter, a little Parmesan cheese. Really, really simple. All right, let's start with the candied bacon, shall we, kid?
Sure.
Don't worry, those of you that are going to wonder when Piper disappears, I have her in good hands. She's going to be sharpening all of our culinary center knives over
No,
the next
I'm not.
hour. No, you're not going to do that?
Are you going to be doing the dishes?
Promises were made.
Crazy.
Promises were made.
He's crazy.
All right, Piper, grab your gloves, kiddo. We're going to do this. So this is where this comes in handy.
Where are
So I
my
want to show you
gloves?
something right over here. Put on the gloves. So this is where, if I'm cooking and it's Father's Day, which I am, there's some fun stuff that you can do. So right now, because I have my little pair of hands, it's a great way to get the kids involved. Nieces, nephews, whatever, it's a great thing to have in the kitchen helping you out, because now I could literally, and I'm waiting on Charlotte to get me a glass of wine, so I could have one hand on my glass of wine and still have 3 hands to make you guys dinner and do all these great recipes. So that's what's going to happen. So we're going to, no, that was just in my head. That's just why I felt like that was what, if I just threw it out there, you never know, somebody may.
You're the person who has one hand when you're drinking wine.
That's
and
right.
I'm the person who has 2 hands.
That's exactly right. See that? We're on the same page, see? Everything is
Like-
now simpatico. All right, so
Hi,
before,
I have 1 arm.
so that's right. So a good tip
See?
before you put this bacon in the oven and get it all grilled up. So we are going to be using sugar. We are going to be putting it in the oven. I'm going to use a grill rack. Now, Charlotte, you said earlier, you said something that intrigued me about something that was going on at HEB. You said that you could buy a sheet pan and a
Yep.
rack at HEB
Yep.
together?
Yep, they come
At
as a
your
set.
local
It's
HEB
a
together?
K&T. It's the
So I don't
it's
have
gray,
to purchase
and it comes with a rack together.
together.
There's
One,
sugar
like-
sticking on it.
One and done.
It was made for this recipe. So we have our rack here. Now, because we're doing bacon and we're going to have sugar, I am going to spray this. This is my little trick. It's not on there. Spray it with nonstick spray just to make sure everything releases when we're ready. Don't inhale. Don't inhale that. All right, I'm going to open up our bacon here. Again, the Pitmaster bacon, if you can find it. If you can't, the HEB regular bacon's good. Honestly, any bacon. If you make your own bacon, if you do any, you can totally do that as well. It's totally
Is this
fine.
like one of those things where it's like all bourbon is
All
whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon
Do you want me to
kind of
take
thing?
out
So
the
like all
strips?
bacon is good, but
Yeah, all
not
bacon's
all
good, so
bacon
we're
is
gonna do it just
great.
like this. Can you do me a favor and put them all just like that? Line them up side by side. Make sure they touch it. I'm gonna make, while you're doing that, I'm gonna put I'm
Like
gonna
the-
make this sugar glaze for it. So the sugar part
Make
of
them
this,
touch each other.
make them touch each other, but you don't wanna overlap. You know why? You don't wanna have them overlap? Because they may not cook evenly, and that way you may
Like
have a really
this?
nice crispy piece, but the other one's not gonna be.
Like that?
That's perfect. You couldn't do it any better than that. That's perfect. All right, so I'm gonna take a half a cup of the turbinado sugar. So on the recipe, it's gonna say Muscovado sugar. If you cannot find Muscovado sugar, I recommend the best thing is the turbinado sugar. What you want is and I'm gonna show Rob here in the camera up top as she's doing that. So turbinado sugar, you want a thick granule of sugar. See how it's a little thicker in my hand? The reason why we wanna use that is because I want this to adhere to the bacon well enough, and as it's baking, it's gonna kind of slowly start to melt. Now, if you only have granulated sugar, it's totally fine, you can use granulated sugar. But I like a little bit more of a rougher sugar, so this is why this turbinado works out really, really well.
So
about a half a cup.
Muscovado sugar is really like it's sugar that's extracted from like cane syrup, and then the molasses is left in the sugar as it sort of dries and crystallizes. Whereas like brown sugar is refined sugar, where they add the molasses back in.
Yes.
But they both
exactly.
add that really good like molasses flavor. And then there's
incredible.
turbinado sugar, which has a really coarse texture, and then demerara sugar.
Demerara sugar. I love demerara. I love demerara sugar.
Which is a little thicker than. Is it thicker than turbinado? Now I confused myself.
No, I think demerara and turbinado are about the same.
About the same.
They're about the same. I love using demerara on top of like scones and things.
Yeah.
We get that little kind of crunchier crystal sugar. Now I love pearl sugar or Belgian sugar, is that big white crystal sugar that doesn't melt. You can put on top of pastries. Oh, I'm sorry, chef. Went away. So in my bowl here, I've got the turbinado sugar. I've got garlic powder. I've got pepper. Now, obviously, we don't need to add salt because the bacon has plenty of salt. It's been salt cured. It's been smoked, so that's good on that. But the recipe does call for chili flakes or red pepper flakes and
I do
cayenne
all
pepper.
of them.
You can do, that'll be perfect. Just those is perfect.
Nice work, Piper.
It is beautiful. And if they don't all fit on the sheet pan, that's all right. You just fry them up and use them for something else. And this bacon, we're actually going to dice up and use on our scampi. So we're going to use that. So I'm going to add a little bit of red chili flakes. Reason being is I'm not a big spice guy. I know Piper doesn't like super heat. So the recipe does also call for cayenne pepper. You can absolutely add as much or as little as you want. I'm going to omit that. just because, you know, if it's Father's Day and we're gonna do it our way, shouldn't I be able to have what I want, right? All right, now, Piper, here's how we're gonna do this. You're gonna take your sugar mixture, and you're gonna do it liberally. Look how, can I tell you, this is what organization looks like at my house. She's very, very methodic in how she does everything she's got going on. All right, so the sugar, we're sweet, but we have some aromatic, the garlic, we have a little black pepper, we have a little bit of our chili
so she
flakes.
gets that from her mom, right?
Yes, absolutely. I usually run into walls most of the time when I'm at home, so it's, you know, she's learning from the best. All right, so this is how you're gonna do it, just a little, and if you need to make more, or you wanna use a little more, you can add a little more. You can take them off. I didn't put any cayenne pepper in, so it shouldn't burn. But just make sure, anytime you're dealing with hot peppers or foods, if the kids are helping you, make sure you wash your hands and don't touch your eyes. It'd be the worst thing in the world, you touch your eyes with hot food. So we're just gonna take this mixture, sprinkle it over the top just like that. It's perfect. You're doing everything right. We have a 350-degree oven preheated. Now, on the recipe, you're gonna see it calls for we're doing a low and slow cook time on the recipe normally. However, I'm cheating the system because we got an hour for class. I wanna speed this up. So we're going to use it a little bit faster, and I'm gonna put the oven at 350. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I'll start on this end, kiddo. We'll meet in the middle. Like Lady and the Tramp. So Charlotte, aren't you supposed to say, as long as I'm the tramp?
Well, that goes without saying. We know.
So we're gonna do it at 350 for about half an hour. So all we really wanna do is just caramelize the sugars. I like doing this lower and slower just because I feel like you get a little more flavor out of it. It's gonna cook the bacon at a lower temperature, and then eventually you'll crank the heat up as you see in the recipe, and then it'll kind of just brown it the rest of the way. Now, there's another cheating trick you can do. Let's say you just have the bacon and you cooked off your Pitmaster bacon or your regular HEB bacon just like this without any of the sugar on it, because you're gonna use it for breakfast. Now, if you have leftover bacon that's already cooked in the full sticks just like this, you could absolutely cheat and use that bacon that's already pre-cooked, preheat a broiler with the rack about 6 to 8 inches below the broiler on high, put the sugar mixture on just like this, put it under the broiler for 3 to 4 minutes, just check it. As soon as the sugar starts to like bubble and get all creme brulee, pull it out. That way it'll adhere to the bacon and you still got candied bacon in half the time. What? Time saving. Kid, you're super fast. All right, 30 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer. You ready for this?
For what?
Here we go, 30 minutes for the bacon. Here we go. All right, I'm in the oven. I'll do the hot part. Keep her out of harm's way. 30 minutes, that goes in the oven, we're good. All right, Piper, you can go back. You can have a little bit of candy, but not all the candy that Charlotte
Can I
says
go
you can
wash
have.
my hands?
Yes, you can go wash your hands.
Good call.
I wish you would. It's a great call. Don't rub your eyes.
Have a couple of pieces of candy, as much as you
She's
want.
gonna have a
when
couple
you're
pieces of
with
candy.
me.
Yes, they got her a little bit of candy so as to make sure she was nice and calm for the shoot, as most 9-year-olds are when they get candy.
She doesn't.
All right. The candied bacon is in. She's going to wash her hands. I'm going to start making the red pepper pico. So, Piper, I'm going to have you come back up here and help me when we start on the chicken. Does that work?
Yeah.
Come
For
hang
now,
out with me.
you can answer questions. Piper and Charlotte will be in the chat. You can feel free to ask them any questions. Piper, make sure to filter all those questions through Charlotte to make sure before we answer something we don't want to have known, right? You know the ones. All right, charred pepper pico. So our onions. So the recipe calls for a red bell pepper. However, walking to the store today, I hope you get inspired when you walk in. Seasonally, we do such a great job at HEB doing all this great produce and all these different things. We do the seasons. We just kind of are leaving the tropical season and getting into more of the summer fruit, stone fruit, a lot of peaches, cherries, all that great season coming in. When I was walking through the produce section, I saw the red bell peppers, and I was like, hey, there's these great ones that all come together like this. And I love the color. And to quote what our dietitians have said, Charlotte, eat the rainbow. So this is going to be an ultra colorful charred onion and red pepper pico because I'm going to use the orange, yellow, and red bell peppers. And it also has a jalapeno in here. Now, if you're spice adverse, I can be, but I think jalapeno, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, I'm okay leaving all the seeds in. Just de-seed it. If you want to go hotter, you can add a serrano, you can add a few, Thai bird peppers, whatever you want to do. Let's get the onion charring first. So let's say it's 97 degrees outside. Just let's say. It may not be. Oh, I cut the onion wrong. Oh, let me do that again. You get in such a rhythm.
Ooh,
doing
we've
things
got a
over and over
great
again.
question.
Yes.
Can you use the sugar mixture for fruit on the grill? Absolutely. I think that would be great.
100%.
Yeah.
Who asked that question? That was a great question.
It was Maggie, I believe.
Great question. It's also great to do, now you could do that same mixture. I know a lot of people like different margarita salts. You could pulse that in your food processor so the sugar gets a little smaller, or unless you like those real big granules, and you can use that as a margarita topper. What? I'm not even a margarita guy, but that'd be I'd be all right with that. All right, so what did I do here? Sorry, I went a little fast. The onion. If I don't want to preheat the grill, let's say I'm going to do this charred onion pico and I don't want to fire up the grill because I'm using the HEB rotisserie chicken. Let's say it's a weeknight, let's say it's on Father's Day, and I want to be able to do something quickly. I don't want to have to fire up the grill just for one onion to get that flavor. I'm going to show you a cheat around that because I don't want to fire up the grill either if I don't have to, unless I'm doing multiple things. I'm going to slice my onion just like you were going to make burger rounds, right? For your hamburgers, right? You slice your onions just like this. I'm going to move over here to the cam on the stove, and I'm going to have a small, actually, yes, I'm going to use this pan. A little nonstick pan set over about medium heat, keeping account that our burners here burn a little hotter. Dry pan. Don't add oil to this because I want to burn the onions. The whole point of the charred onion is to get it charred. If I add oil to this, which makes total sense because I want to keep it from sticking while I'm cooking it, I'm just going to start caramelizing the onions. I don't want that. I want that burned, charred flavor, which is going to make my pico taste really, really good.
Dry pan.
Dry pan, onions right in. And we're going to leave this alone for a while. So that just goes in, just put them straight on there, flat cut, let them sit. And that's going to burn. It's going to start to smell really, really good in here in about 3.5 minutes as those onions start to burn. Now, if you're worried that it's going to burn, just go over there, you take your tongs, just give it a peek. I want them like charred. What does that look like, charred? It looks like this. See how these are nice and burned?
Beautiful.
So that's what I want to do to that. And there's no oil on this. It's literally the natural sugars in this onion are going to give you that, and that is going to give this a ton of flavor. So, Piper, how you doing over there? How many pieces of candy is she at? You just got to keep a tally. That's all I care about. So I just need a tally, a running tally of how many she's had, so I know what I'm in for. You've seen me do this a couple times. I like to employ this when I'm using something, this kind of cutting technique where I do the double blade. I like it. I like to live on the wild side every once in a while. Father's Day is no exception. So we have these onions here. Whenever I'm going to chop something that's uneven, I like to use the double blade. So if you've never watched a class and you're wanting to get better at knife skills, I encourage you to chop as much as you can, as often as you can. Even if you're not making dinner, go, Mom, let me do all the cutting, or Dad, let me do all the cutting, or hey, I'm going to do all the chopping, and then you can do dinner. Take your one knife. You always hold your knife at the bolster. It's hold like this. Wrap your fingers around so it's like this. Now, if I'm going to add another knife to this finger that's on the outside, I'm going to move this to the center, and I'm going to grip this with my other knife, and now you have the double grip, right? So now it makes quicker work of this. This is also fun as just a party gag, right?
I mean, come on, Wolverine, like.
I mean, it's fun. Right?
We have a great question.
Yes.
So is there, in your opinion, is there an onion that you feel is better to char than the others?
I think, yeah, it's a great question. I think most people would say like a sweet onion, like a Vidalia onion, things like that are really good for like, you know, that would caramelize, that have a lot more natural sugar that I think you'll get a lot more of that char from. Honestly though, I just go with what's easy, and I feel like white onions, yellow onions are all readily available, so it's just easier to do that.
It's really funny, we had this, a similar question when we were doing a salsa during one of the, I guess our Cinco de Mayo class.
Yep.
And the chef was using white onions. I always just default to a yellow onion. I don't know if it's because it's just what I grab.
I think I do. I don't know why it is. I've been big. I love shallots. So shallots probably my go-to for most things.
Great question, because Daniel wants to know if shallots will work.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Shallot, Daniel, is my go-to. I love shallots in everything. And I think you could absolutely substitute shallots in this. Now, if you substituted a shallot for this, you are going to get, you'll get a little sweeter flavor. You just cut those shallots in half. You know, shallots are kind of oblong. You just cut them in half and do the same thing. You just sear them, but just let them sear a little bit longer. I feel like depending on what kind of shallot, sometimes they have a little more or a little less sugar depending on the season, I feel like. So,
look at that. Look how pretty that is.
So I have all these peppers. So I just cut them easily. This is the lazy way of doing this, and I shouldn't do it this way, but this is just
I don't
easy
think
for
it's
me.
lazy. I think it's really efficient and the way a lot of people
This
would
is,
do the
I just
same.
square it off. And if you have another one, I just square it off. That way, it's just less mess. If you wanted to, this is the fancy way. They'll teach you how to do it if you go to school for it. Take your pepper, and you just slowly roll the pepper all the way around the
I do the other
seed.
method. I think it's very efficient. And did you know, a little bell
Either
pepper
way.
tip for everybody out there, 1 cup of red bell pepper has more vitamin C than an orange.
Which, by the way, eat the rainbow, right?
Eat the
we
rainbow.
pitch that all the time. Eat the rainbow. All right, so we're gonna. thin as you want to chop these, I like to do something a little bit small. You saw how I minced the onion pretty small? I like to have something that if I want to use this as, like Piper said, to dip with my chips a little bit later on, I want this to be a little bit smaller so that it will actually adhere to a chip. Now, if you want to add this to like a salad or something, and you want to cut it in big chunks, you can absolutely do it that way as well. That would not be a bad way to go, but you definitely don't have to. So this all gets chopped up.
You know, I think bell peppers get a bad rap because of the green bell pepper.
Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree with you.
Are so like vegetal and grassy and just green bell peppery.
Yep.
But like the red bell pepper, the yellow, the orange,
like, all have a
nice sweetness to them.
Absolutely. So I'm going to chop all this up. I won't chop all these because I know what I need, and I've already got some made. Now, the trick to all this is, I'll set these guys aside. We'll have these as a snack with another salad for another day. All right, those will go on the side here. This will get into my bowl here, back of my knife. Trick knife skills. All right, some cilantro. Now, I have this fresh cilantro picked right from H-E-B. I picked it myself off the shelf. I didn't actually pick it in the sear, but you know, you get the drift. However, let's make it easy on ourselves. I'm trying to do a lot of things to make sure that we can use easy as much as we can. So if you have been to, you see your onions? You remember your onions if they're on the stove?
I forgot about them.
Don't forget your onions, don't forget them. You can chop your own cilantro, or you could just let H-E-B chop it for you. So I'm gonna add about a pinch of this fresh cilantro that's already been chopped up. You got enough chopping. Hey, if you wanna work on your knife skills, chop up the herbs, absolutely. You can absolutely do that. A little jalapeno.
What's really funny is that when it comes to like the chopped herbs, when I buy the chopped herbs, I tend to use all the chopped herbs, but when I buy the herbs in the bunch, they die in my drawer.
I think that's pretty normal though. I think that's why they do it, so that you can just use what you need versus, because what I always do, and this is exactly what I would do, which would be wasteful, unless I'm purposeful about this, either blending this up in a salsa, the actual stems, because there's a lot of flavor in the stems of cilantro. What I would typically do is chop, 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 get this, and I would throw that away or compost it or whatever, like leaving all that. I'm like, well, that's kind of a waste, so why not just buy this, and that way it's already done for you. To chop a jalapeno, this is a giant jalapeno. I'm gonna do about a quarter cup of jalapeno, which obviously ends up being about this size. So from the top here, I'm gonna take my knife, nice sharp knife, I'm gonna make little bitty lines in my jalapeno. You see that? Little bitty lines, careful not to cut yourself, and then I'm gonna roll it. So now I'm gonna do it again. It's the same little thing. See what I'm doing here? I'm gonna make a nice little dice for myself, and then when it's ready, I'm just going to have it already chopped.
Oh, you're gonna leave all those seeds in there, huh?
I'm gonna leave the seeds. I'm trying to be tougher this summer. Tougher. Okay. No, actually I don't mind these jalapenos, and I'm just gonna say this. The ones that I picked that I've already tasted are not quite as hot, so I'm able to fake like I can really.
Famous last word. Piper, does your dad like spicy stuff?
No.
No.
Yes. I love spicy food.
Does he need like a glass of milk when he eats spicy stuff?
Glass of milk. I need like a fire extinguisher. Glass of milk ain't gonna cut it.
Well, he usually does water with spicy stuff.
Oh, okay.
Water, like fire extinguisher water. Okay. All right, I can smell my onions. I'm gonna grab my lemon juice. Now, I have some beautiful fresh lemons that I can squeeze. I've got a juicer that I bought at H-E-B. I can make this happen. However, my loving H-E-B partners squeezed thousands of lemons for you and I and put them into this container, and it's unpasteurized. It's literally fresh lemon juice.
Is that 16 ounces?
This is a big boy, yeah. This should be 32.
Is it 32?
Nope, yep, 32.
How much is that?
That is 4 cups.
But no, how
or
much
1 quart.
Dollars. How much is that dollars-wise?
$5.48.
Man.
But you imagine how many lemons
it
took to squeeze 32 ounces? Yeah, it's a lot.
Good deal.
It's a lot. All right, considering I don't know what I should know this, but I think it's like 50 cents a lemon or 40 cents a lemon, something like that. All right, this all gets tossed together here. I've got the onions, I've got the pico. Oh, I almost forgot my garlic. What the heck? My garlic, hang on. So in order to get this, the garlic melded into this nicely the way I want to, and you notice on the recipe, Charlotte, I was very Charlotte-esque in my garlic usage in this recipe.
Oh, so you were very conservative in your garlic
So
usage.
to fix that, I'm gonna double the amount of garlic that I'm gonna put into this
man.
right now. Honestly, the charred pepper pico, I really want it to be more about the peppers, but I do love fresh garlic in this, and honestly, I love the flavor of this, and honestly, I would use the same amount of garlic as the recipe calls for. However, I am going to put it on the chicken. I do want a little more garlic kick for that chicken, especially with that toasted fennel on there. All right, I'll use 2 cloves. How about that? I won't use 3. I won't go crazy.
Meet in the middle there.
All right, here we go. So that gets tossed up, and that's going to get covered and put in the refrigerator. Now, the longer this sits, the better this is going to be. So I recommend doing this at least half an hour in advance. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. You can eat it. I mean, it'd be delicious just like that. But you notice I seasoned it with a little bit of salt. So the longer that sits, we have this acid that's drawing, like that's kind of like slowly kind of cooking the onion a little bit. Everything's kind of mixing. It's kind of acidulating and kind of, just slowly cooking basically our vegetable mixture in that acid. It's going to give it a lot of great flavor. And so the salt is going to extract some of the juices from the pepper, the juices from the onion, the garlic, the cilantro. Is going to pull out some of that moisture. And so it's going to make this beautiful kind of vinaigrette, that's this great kind of vinegar flavor, that lemon juice that's going to go with it. So it's really, really good. All right, the charred pepper pico's made. The candied bacon is in the oven. Piper, come look at our bacon. I wish you could see this bacon. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because we can. All right, watch out, kiddo. Here we go. Back up for the camera. You ready for this? Watch this. Here we go. I'm going to show you to the camera how this looks.
Okay.
And this is the reason why we do it on a rack. Remember what I told
smoky.
you?
It
It's
smells.
smoky. So you see, can you see how the sugars kind of,
Smells.
is that better, Rob, down here? You see how the sugar's kind of starting to caramelize a little bit? It's kind of bubbling up, it's going, but all that fat and extra sugar is kind of dripping down below, which is why I want the rack. I have about 15 more minutes, that's halfway. So it's starting to get a little crispy, it's starting to get its way kind of done here a little bit. I'm going to flip this over. Pipes, you ready for this? I'm going to use your
Chicken time.
seasoning hands. We're going to go to our chicken. She's going to put her gloves on because she knows that's how we do it. All right, if you are doing the chicken, so I'm going to use about 2 pounds of chicken thighs. If you want to, for Father's Day, if you've got some beautiful ribeye steaks, our Prime 1 program at HEB is so fantastic. The steaks you can get at your local HEB meat market are great. There's so many different cuts you can choose from. If you don't want to go chicken for Father's Day, you can always do great cuts of pork. You can do this on a steak. The seasoning is really, really good no matter what you do it on. And honestly, if you're just a salt and pepper guy on your steak, I would encourage you to try a little bit of this fennel and garlic on your steak. It'll change your life. It's really, really tasty. Hang on, Pipes. This is I've got sugar, and I'm going to try and see if I can get rid of it here. There we go. A little clean.
Gonna do a little cleanup there.
A little clean up there.
So,
Hang on. I don't know
chicken
who's
thighs.
cooking in here.
Let's talk about chicken thighs.
Chicken thighs.
It's
You're the
my
one who's
preferred
cooking.
I am the one that's
preferred form of grilled chicken would be in the thigh. I love how it gets like charred and crispy, like the fat. Oh, it's my
yeah.
favorite. Chicken thighs are, it's the best.
They are. If you are nervous about it because there's dark meat, there's white meat, and I think the thighs are the perfect blend because, some people don't know if they're cooked quite all the way with the dark meat, but you cook everything to 165 and you're good to go. The flavor, it just stays a little more moist. It has great flavor. Our spice rub that I'm going to do today is that spice rub right there. Let's show them how to make it. So we're going to take our fennel. Remember what I said, the fennel? The green fennel is very, very... Did you forget about your onions? Oh, I didn't. I can smell them. Now watch this. You ready for this?
They are
Charred. Didn't we promise char? But see, I'm in a dry pan. So the dry pan is not going to fry these. It's going to char them.
Ooh.
That's what you're looking for right there. So that really deep dark color. Now, because I've got so much good char on the first side, I could probably just turn the heat off and let this just cook, because the goal is not to obliterate these to where you've got onion ash, right? You want to cook them until it is charred, but still you have that beautiful kind of soft onion in the middle. That's what we want. So those are good to go. I've turned that off. Our fennel seeds. We need to toast some fennel seeds. I'm going to move this guy over. I'm going to move this guy. Whoop. Here we go. I'm going to use this pan.
okay.
I'm going to add, will you do me a favor? Will you measure me 1 big scoop, 1 tablespoon of those fennel seeds? You can pour it right in the pan. And this is how easy this is if you have a second pair of hands with you, like I do. It's a great way to show kids how to, beautiful. And if you go a little bigger than 1 tablespoon, that's okay. I'm not going to be mad. Boom! There you go. You got it? Dump that bad boy in there.
Let's see it.
Perfect. All right, we're going to get that little spider out of our pan. And then we're going to toast our fennel seeds. So I'm going to put this over medium heat. And Piper, you are going to, like medium low, very safely, at a very safe distance, she's going to slowly kind of shake our pan. And when it starts to become very aromatic, you're going to smell it. Notice how right now, if you can see over the overhead cam, Rob, you can see like these are kind of green. Don't touch this. Daddy's being really, really not smart.
Right now I can sort of see one piece that's brown and it's going to
the rest is all kind of green, right? So this is going to start to turn colors. It's going to start to turn like a yellow or like kind of a light brown. And that's when you know you're getting there. But it's also going to smell really, really fragrant. So it's going to go from kind of more green, like herby, botanical kind of flavor to like more of a darker, like toastier fennel, like proper fennel flavor. You got that, kid?
Yeah.
All right. In a small bowl.
So you're gonna toast them. They're gonna get toasty.
Toasty. It'll get nice and toasty. So the smokiness for this whole thing is coming from the pepper. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of kosher salt. Now you will have leftovers. You don't by any means have to use all this. I know I love salt, but you measure what you need to do. It's about 3 teaspoons of the. We just can't catch a break.
I know, right?
Can't catch a break with these. 3 teaspoons of garlic powder, which is almost a full tablespoon. 4 teaspoons in a tablespoon. Now you can use as little as much garlic as you want, but there's really, it's salt, pepper, it's garlic, and it's the fennel, and that's it. So the smoke is coming from the Southside Market. This is coarse ground oak smoked black pepper. It is really, really strong. Ever smell this? What does that smell like to you?
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, that's smoky. It's very, very, it smells like barbecue, right? So
really
if you're not grilling something on your oak smoked grill or on your just regular charcoal grill or gas grill, using this pepper is where we're going to get all that smoky flavor from. We're going to put it on the chicken and it's going to really impart all that great smoky flavor. So that gets kind of tossed together here, just that mix. Now this mixture will keep in your spice cabinet covered for about 6 months. I feel like once you start to crack herbs or crack, I would say, seeds like this, like fennel, peppercorns, things like that, they start to kind of deteriorate really fast. But with a spice mixture like this with salt, it should be good for about 6 months. Anytime you can toast fresh seeds and spices, I say always. That looks beautiful.
These
see
look
that?
good?
So you see how it's kind of changing? So I'm going to do a little. Am I losing some? They're all jumping around.
They jump.
So we'll keep going. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit more. You keep that safe distance. Is it hot at all? Are you okay? You're in a good spot? I know I've got you sharpening knives, but there's only so much danger.
I can sort of like feel the heat like coming this way.
A little heat on that way? Okay, that's good. Yeah, just keep moving it. All right, so we're gonna take the fennel that gets blitzed up in a. I want to just show them how beautifully toasted it gets. So I'm gonna move this around so you can see how this gets kind of.
Yourself, so.
I don't have much feeling in this finger. There's a couple fingers I really don't feel much in. This is one of them. So that's starting to toast up. So you see how it kind of went. So I want to show you by comparison. This is what we're talking about. So check this out. And Rob, if you can see that. What do you see?
This
So you see the color of this?
yellow.
So you see how this is a little more kind of like
green.
kind of green, whitish green. It's starting to go a little more yellow. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that kind of dark, rich color. Can you smell it, Piper? You smell it kind of toasting a little bit?
Yeah.
It's starting to smell pretty good, right? All right. Piper, are you ready for this? We're going to turn that off. So this fennel would go, while it's hot, right into our blender. It would get blended up and it would get mixed in with this spice, which we already have some pre-done right here. So I'm going to take tongs, Piper, and I'm going to move the chicken around. I want you to season. Let's use this guy. We'll use this one over here. We can use that sort of garlic, pepper, salt. So you're going to season it liberally. So seasoning liberally. Piper's going to show you. We have, these aren't super thick, right? These are our natural H-E-B boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Yeah. They're not super thick, right? But you want to give good coating. So why do chefs hold their hands up here and season high?
Because it will land on it better.
It will land on it better. So if you do this, so check this out. This is how I learned to do this. If you're down low, the salt's going to go, what, one spot? Where if I go up high,
it's going to go like
it goes everywhere, right? So it's basically so you don't get one spot that has too much salt versus another. That's why you always see that. It is also to be fancy, but there's also practicality in seasoning that high. So there you go. So season up high. You're going to season them real good. I'm going to toss them for you. You season them the way you see fit, kiddo. Here, season the other side. We'll season them. Good. A little on this one. And again, you're going to lose some seasoning, so be liberal with it because, again, eventually you're going to end up moving some off, right? We're going to go to the grill on these. Some of the seasoning's going to fall off as we're moving them. You season that side.
It's not an outdoor grill.
It's not an outdoor grill. It's an indoor grill. You got that right.
You didn't put any oil on those, boss.
I know. That's okay.
Okay, I'm just noting it.
There's no oil on these.
Something that
we got enough. We're going to oil the grill. We're all right.
Okay.
I'm going to finish with a little olive oil, a little fresh herb on top of the lemon juice. So,
So I
we
like
just want it to
this.
stick.
Chicken
That
thighs
is.
have a lot of fat, so like, you know, they'll cause some flare-ups. So I like that you're not using oil. Now, if your grill
Good,
is hot
good.
enough, right, it
Yes.
shouldn't stick, right?
Should not stick, yes.
Okay.
However, extra insurance is always valuable. She's still tossing it, I love it. I'm gonna get my nonstick spray right over here. So I'm gonna spray our grill just a little bit. I'm gonna turn on my fan so we don't have smoke-ageddon. All right, so I've got our grill on very, very
Ooh.
medium heat. Is this freaking you out,
It's
Piper?
like a Weber commercial.
There we go. Here we go, on the grill we go. Ready?
This is like,
I'm gonna put the chicken on one side because we are gonna grill our shrimp after all, right?
yeah.
Hey, Tompkins, we can't bring those closer to the
I'm coming.
to
I
that
got you.
sheet pan because we don't have a very good shot of that. There we go.
I'm gonna kind of spread these out because I've got a lot of it. I want the shrimp to be on the top, on the bottom
Oh,
here.
okay.
Okay.
That work? You see him? I got
We see a
shrimp
couple
coming.
pieces. That'll be
I
okay.
got my. You'll want to make sure you have your rack fitted with a sheet pan, or sheet pan fitted with a rack. You know, reverse that and you're on the right track. All right, Scampi, you ready? Piper, you're good. You can go back. I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna make a big mess over here, so I don't want you to get that pretty shirt all dirty.
Okay.
You're the best. She's doing a great job. She's a super good helper. I'm telling you, she's my little, my kitchen elf, getting everything done. She comes in, dainty hands, gets it all done. So the last thing we've got is the grilled shrimp scampi. So the grilled shrimp, obviously I've got my sustainably raised shrimp. Now, I did talk about, I'm using a shell-on shrimp. So what does that look like? It looks like these guys. So these are previously frozen. I just thawed them out, but they're already peeled and deveined, which is, I hate, I know you do too, Charlotte, peeling and deveining shrimp. I think as a chef, if you work long enough, you peel and devein so many shrimp that you just can't do it anymore. It just becomes like a PTSD thing. So these are peeled and deveined, they're great, but they do have this little shell on. This is gonna actually insulate on the grill. It's gonna help insulate the shrimp. So I like to use the shell on these guys. Little bowl here. So I
What
only
kind
need
of bowl
about,
is that, Scott Tompkins?
what's that?
What kind of bowl is that?
I'm so glad you asked. I never get tired of saying a borosilicate bowl. Borosilicate. It's a borosilicate bowl. If I could say it a different, like, borosilicate bowl. Borosilicate. How would it sound in a different tongue, native tongue? It's a fantastic bowl. If you have not picked up a borosilicate bowl, you really need to go pick up the borosilicate because they're amazing. This thing, if you could hear, like, it's heavy. These heavy bowls, just go, if you're in a GM section of HEB, just walk in and pick one up. It's a heavy, seriously, like, commercial style kitchen bowl. It's they're really good. All right, I need some oil, some olive oil.
Okay, so wait, we're talking about the shrimp on, the shell on this shrimp,
Yes.
right? Like, I know that like in like Japan and Chinese cooking, like sometimes they like cover that bad boy in cornstarch and tempura fry it or something
Yeah,
like that.
shell on,
or
yeah.
fry it, or like,
I'm
you
in.
know, do a, but like I'm just the shells, but like you're gonna go ahead and you suggest to eat the shell from the grilled,
You can't. If
the
they,
grilled,
here-
okay.
Yep. Here's the caveat to that. If they are too burned, just peel the shell off. But you
Okay.
can absolutely eat the shell on. They're really good. I'm not going to use that seasoning. I've already done that one.
So,
We're just going to do
like-
salt and pepper.
I have eaten like, so like on fried shrimp or like fried catfish, like I'll eat the tail.
Yep.
But I don't know like how I feel about eating the shell of a grilled shrimp, a whole shrimp.
I really like it.
I'll try anything once, like.
I love because honestly, like I feel like the tail on shrimp or like the you couldn't see that was pretty awesome. It's nice shrimp slimy glove went flying up on my recipes there. All right, it really does. It's just a deep shrimp flavor that doesn't taste funky. It doesn't have like I would have thought the same thing first time I ever ate a shrimp head, like a fried shrimp head, which is also delicious. And I'd never thought I'd be the person saying that, but they are really tasty. It just has a really intense shrimp flavor with a really nice crispness. All right.
Okay.
These are gonna go on the grill.
Like shrimp chips.
Shrimp chips, exactly. So obviously you want to adjust your grill grate if your shrimp are small enough. If you need to, you can always put like a grill basket down as a great tip for these. Can you see my shrimp, Charlotte?
I do. I see them perfectly. So,
go ahead.
I was gonna. So you're not skewering them or anything. You're just throwing them on there all willy-nilly.
You can. I'm just going to throw them on here loose like this. You can absolutely
Okay.
skewer these up for ease. And you definitely could for serving too. Like if you want to do them like an appetizer, you could throw these, you could skewer them up into them. but I'm just gonna throw them on here, gingerly next to chicken. Now, obviously, if you have food allergies.
I feel like it's reckless, chef. You're being reckless with
very
your
reckless.
shrimp.
Because I know actually nobody in here has a shrimp allergy that we know of, so it's okay to cook next to each other when you're like that. Now, normally at a restaurant I do these completely separately, but and if you're at home and you have a shrimp allergy, obviously don't eat the shrimp, number one. Number two, just do the chicken or something else. Okay, so shrimp is on. The scampi vinaigrette. If you have your recipe, it starts with bacon. We're gonna get the bacon going. I've got my fantastic H-E-B K&T titanium pan. It's a fantastic pan. Our ingredients for our scampi. I want a lot of garlic, obviously a lot of butter. You can see here I've got chives. I am gonna use, again, fresh cut parsley. Why would you do anything else if you've got it there? The one thing I would say about this recipe is there is wine in it. I'm gonna use a cup of bacon instead of half a cup because it's bacon, and so I figured I'd just go over, right? Nobody will be mad about that.
So is it true that is bacon a dad thing? Because I feel like every Father's Day it's like bacon.
I feel like bacon's like an everybody thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel it's like obviously unless you're a vegan or vegetarian. I would say we don't eat, Piper, do we eat a lot of bacon?
I'd say probably like not.
It's every once in a while. We're not huge, but
Yeah,
when we do.
sometimes like when we do, we like don't. Yeah, we like save some of it for like another day.
Exactly.
We don't like just.
Don't
like,
always
if
have to
we
have
have
it.
like 19 things of bacon, we don't just like cook all of it on like.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
So moderation. So you cook some, save
Yeah,
some for later. I
see?
get it. Okay.
I'm telling you, Piper's got it all figured out already. So I'm gonna zest some garlic. We are gonna use some garlic in this. So the basic flavors of a scampi are, of course, you've got the lemon juice, you've got the garlic, you've got the intense butter flavor, obviously, the white wine, which we're gonna get into white wine in a second. I have a totally different stance on cooking wine that I think a lot of people do. It was always said to me, like, don't ever cook with a wine you wouldn't be willing to drink. I'm the opposite. I cook with wine that I can't stand to drink because who else is gonna drink that wine? Who else is gonna drink it, right? And plus, I feel like one of the major, now if you're a sommelier or if you're a wine, specialist or know a lot about wine, you can definitely correct me if I'm wrong on this, but part of the flavor of wine is the alcohol content. So the alcohol content affects the flavor of the wine a little bit, the outcome. So if you're just gonna cook it off, you just have grape juice anyway, right? So we're just really dealing with grape juice at that point. So to me, I'd rather cook with a cheap wine and know that I'm gonna get my flavor out of it, and I won't have to be, timer went off for my thing over there, I'll get them out. But you don't, like, why, I'd rather drink the expensive wine than pour it out in my food.
Okay, so I'm gonna unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you drink expensive wine and you don't want to waste it in the pan.
No, maybe. Look at this.
Okay.
Ready for
so
this?
there's a lot. Ooh, is this the bacon?
Holy, crispy, crunchy. This is
Beautiful.
some caramelized candy bacon. That's gonna cool for quite a while. Our bacon is cooking down. I'm gonna add the garlic and butter. So you wanna add your garlic and butter at the same time. I want this to render down. You might think you're gonna burn the garlic, and you might a little bit, but I think a little bit of toasted garlic is a good thing. And this is how this all starts. Now, I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit. In about 30 seconds, I wish that there was a vent that would come right out of your computer and into your house, because the garlic, the bacon, and the butter all together here is like unbelievable. All right, I'm keeping an eye on my chicken. So what I'm gonna do on my grill here, if you can see my grill, you see how my chicken's cooking? I don't really want to move this until it's ready to flip. Now you can do the scoring marks if you wanted to. You can kind of move it, 45-degree angle to get the nice hash marks. Hash marks, that's what I'm trying to say. Sounds like. But I like to cook it about 60 to 70% on the first side and then flip it over and then finish cooking it. That way I can make sure that I know, number one, it's pretty much cooked and I'm just waiting for the other side to get done, to come up to temp. Now you're gonna notice in this, as I'm switching gears back to the scampi vinaigrette, there's a lot of liquid in here. I didn't pour out any fat. We're making a vinaigrette out of this whole concoction here. So I want this to be a very kind of liquidy thing because it's gotta go over the top. It's gonna be our sauce for the shrimp, right? You can see our shrimp here doing really, really good. Let me get a clean pair of tongs. The shrimp They're not getting too blistered, but they're getting really
Ooh.
nicely cooked.
Tan
And again, shrimp
lines.
I
don't
can
need
sort
long.
of smell some smokiness from the bacon.
Yeah, good nose,
Yeah?
Piper.
Like some salt and pepper and
Does
smoke.
it look? That's right. Do they look good from there?
Yeah,
Piper,
they
can you
look
see it?
beautiful.
I can barely even see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
now
a-
I can see it.
telling you.
Going back to this wine issue, Tom. please.
Yeah. You won't let me be dodgy anymore about it? No, I do like, look, you know this as much as anybody. I work very hard, and so I like to spend my money on wine and
So
stuff.
what we're saying
Because,
is
you know, but I like good wine.
inexpensive wine.
Not necessarily
cheap
expensive.
wine.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not a $100 bottle a person a night kind of thing. That's not my, that's not my bag. But I do. I
Like
will
$99
spend.
a night.
No, not even close. Not even close. But I do like a good bottle of wine. And I feel like, you know, you're supposed to kind of. I feel like a Cabernet. This is just me talking. I feel like a Cabernet is an appetizer unto itself. If I open Cabernet, I don't need something to eat. I just start with the Cabernet because it has enough, like, you know, stuff going on to where I'm like, no, this is good. This is a great appetizer.
I love
Don't
the
tell me
story.
somebody in the chat.
I love the picture you're painting here.
of the me have an appetizer. Look, if it makes it feel any better, I poured into a bowl, so it's
what do you have
basically
for
like
breakfast?
an appetizer. All right, I can get this out of the way. Our candy bacon is going. I'm gonna get our Piper in about a second. I'm gonna have you come back up here and help me plate all this stuff. How am I doing on time?
You have all the time
Candy
in the
bacon
world,
and
chef.
good. All right, we are getting toward the end here. This now you see I've slowed down the scampi here. I'm gonna flip over our chicken. So again, I've got a good cook on the first side here. Can you tell that we also have hot spots on our
Ooh,
grill?
chicken
I
thighs.
can. All right, the shrimp are basically ready to come off. So I'm gonna put them right into a bowl to kind of hang out, which I brought over there. My chicken's gonna go on a plate. Is that how we decided to do this? Is that what I said, Piper? I think
Yeah,
that's what
you're
I
gonna put
said.
them in a bowl. I was paying attention that time.
Bowl it is. So this is where, for your weeknight meal, you could grill out your shrimp, you could grill out some vegetables, and then you make your spaghetti or your linguine or whatever, and then that sauce will get poured over this with the pasta, and you've got a fantastic shrimp scampi pasta dish, right?
Have you added the vermouth into that pan yet,
Not
Chef?
yet.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you prepared for it?
Yes. So we were talking about the wine, right? And you would like to use you wouldn't want to pour anything good wine into a pan if you could pour
Right.
it into your mouth, right? So
Correct.
Chef is using a dry vermouth in this recipe, which I think is an absolutely fantastic idea.
Which
so
is this guy?
vermouth comes from the class of what we call fortified or aromatic wines. So fortified wines could mean that they add something else into it to give it flavor. And so for vermouth, it's like herbs and dirt and botanicals and
Yep.
roots. It's actually just like herbs and roots and, you know, different
Come on over, kid.
flowers and things like that.
Yeah,
but
it's cheap. I bought this at H-E-B, the Martini and Rossi. It's a
great for like it's great for like, you know, in cocktails or as an aperitif, but like
smells
as
really
the
good.
liquid burns out and the alcohol burns
wow,
off,
what is
it
that?
leaves a very, very
What is that?
bacon. It's a little
more
vinaigrette. It needs-
herbaceous or herby flavor in the pan that a white wine
Okay.
just can't do. It is a base of grapes though. It should
Yes.
be, yeah.
And I like the smell of it. If you were to smell it, where to put my lemon juice? Here it is. I got it. Losing everything over here. All right,
Dad,
lemon
there's
juice.
still a raw piece over there.
You should tell me it's still a raw piece. We'll keep cooking it. So the lemon juice goes in because, again, we are making a vinaigrette. We want to use a little bit more lemon juice. I'm going to use the exact same amount of vermouth. Now, this is where I would tell you. So you see we got a little sputtering? If you have an open flame burner or stove that you use at home, anytime you add alcohol, I would always just add it off the heat. Just slide it over, add it, and put it back on. Not that because it would ignite. If it does ignite, it may scare you. So if you are using one of these burners and it does ignite, do not panic. Simply what anybody would do in any restaurant, you would just back up.
Step
Right? Just
back.
back up, stand back, and let the alcohol burn off and then go up. Don't try to run it to the sink and put the fire out with water. It'll just go, because it's actually just igniting some of the fat, you can see. But we're gonna let that reduce down. I'm gonna add my fresh herbs in a second. But the vinaigrette is pretty much done. I am gonna taste it. The chicken is still going. We're getting very, very close, Piper. So close. I'll move over here. Yes, ma'am. How's it going? Oh. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can do that. She wants to show you, she asked if she could do a sneak peek of the bacon over there. Yeah, we can plate that up. You ready? Let's actually plate that while this is going.
This.
We have our other bacon.
Is what the bacon looks
That
like.
candied
Once it's
bacon.
done.
So do me a favor. Will you put the rest of this? Now this is very cool. This had time to cool. It's had about over an hour to cool. So these are all ready to go. You want to peel these up and put them on top of that one, kiddo? We'll put these guys,
Are
just
they
stack them
hot?
really nice on top. Nope, they're not hot. We let them cool down. They're completely cool, ready to go.
Piper, will you bring
Try
me
to
one,
smoke it out.
please?
All right, these chicken, they're getting there. Final plating, everything's coming together. All right, we are going to need our
It's like sticky, like
pico, right?
sort
It's
of
like there's sugar
caramel.
and candy all over them.
Like it's sort of like
Caramel on
caramel. Something.
It is
No
completely
bacon for me.
caramelized. So you can see here, this is my one I did. Now you could make this in advance. I did this earlier today. And look at the difference in, if I can just show you this. Piper, this is amazing, kiddo. Look at that. All right, the candied bacon, that's ready to go. We're going to get rid of this pan over here. I want to show you, overhead cam,
Salt.
Piper, check that out. And I want you to look at this guy. I'm going to turn that off. That's ready to go. Versus this guy. So this has been just since we started cooking. Can you see the difference in how much liquid has been given up in this? Because again, all that salt pulled out all the vegetable, like all this like moisture. So the peppers,
This
the onions.
has more. This has
Yeah,
less.
and I did chop a little bit more in there, but you know, still,
Yeah.
you get the idea. There's a lot more liquid in there, right? So this can sit for up to a day in advance. So if you're going to have a party, I absolutely recommend do it 100% in advance. Let it sit in advance. The longer it sits and marries, give it at least half an hour from when you make it to when you're going to serve it, because it'll just give it, again, just a little more time to kind of get beautiful. All right, let's get a plate here for the chicken.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
What else am I missing? What else are we missing plating? Is this it? This is it. So easy.
Can you put that delicious
So
vinaigrette
easy. This
on
little
that
vinaigrette
shrimp?
here. All right, let's add parsley. Will you do me a huge favor? This is our parsley. Yes. Will you add a big pinch, like a big Piper pinch, into the scampi vinaigrette, which is a big pinch of fresh herb in there?
Like this.
That's perfect. You can add a little more. Add 2 more of those. That same side. There you go. 1 more. 1 more. And then we're good. So that's going to be the herbs. I'm going to chop a little fresh chive because I do want fresh chive in this. I don't want to cook the chives because chives are a very delicate herb. Very delicate flower, very delicate herb. All right. You just want to give these a nice little mince.
Like our dog, Bauer.
He's a delicate flower. He is. Bauer's a delicate flower. He was a rescue. He's okay to be a delicate flower. Right? Whereas our other dog, what is she like? Ferdinand, right? Bull in a
Oh yeah,
china
she's
shop.
a bull in a china shop. Like if she goes
She's-
into something, she'll go ram and ram straight.
She just rammed.
into
How many
something.
times has she rammed
Like-
into you, kid?
Oh, each time like I try.
Yeah?
Each time I run around the house or do something,
She's always.
she comes
Right on top
ram
of you.
and then hits my leg when I fall.
All right. I'm going to turn the heat back up on this one. We're about ready to plate. All right, the chicken is ready. Are you ready to eat?
Yeah, but needs to like cool down for like.
Piper,
We will let it rest.
bring me a piece of that
I
bacon,
promise.
please. I'll be your
Yeah, go
best
give
friend.
Charlotte a piece of the bacon.
The bacon,
Bacon?
that you just
Right
put on
here?
the plate. Yeah.
Here,
Okay,
here.
Yes.
give me the plate, the entire
Walk it
plate.
over. Careful
I
not
get the
trip or
entire
anything. There's a lot of
plate.
cords.
This is my lucky day.
This is
Nanny, nanny,
bacon.
boo, boo. Y'all.
All right, are we ready for this? Here we
Thank you
go.
so much.
Scampi,
Bacon
vinaigrette, right on
heaven.
top. Here we go. Ready for this. Watch this. All this lovely,
Oh, man.
lovely.
Woo.
Look at all that juice.
Look at all that juice, and guess what? How about a little salt to finish it all off? Yeah. And then, of course, will you do me a favor? Do the honors? I got some fresh chives there. Will you just put some fresh chives right over the top?
This
That
way.
color, folks. Color. And again, the chive is going to give it a really nice, light, oniony flavor.
And it's gonna make it like look like a decoration sort of.
Beautiful. And I'm going to give this a little plate wipe because we got a nice little bowl here. All right, we're going to wipe it down. Oh, I just made it worse. Look at that. Charlotte, where were you on that
Candy
one?
bacon is no joke, y'all.
It's pretty serious. It's no joke. All right. Shrimp. Scampi. Vinaigrette.
Now.
Done. Chicken. You ready?
Let's do chicken.
Chicken. Here we go. All right.
Chicken.
Chicken, here we go.
Chicken.
Now she's right. We are going to have to
All
let our chicken rest, right? Give it a little time to rest. But it'll sit there. So what I love about a dish like this, and Piper, you know this, Contrast
Yeah.
of flavors and colors, right? Or flavors and textures. So the textures of the chicken, obviously it has a little bit of crispness to it, a little char, but I also love the fact that you've got really, really hot chicken that's going to cool, and you've got a cold condiment to go with it. So what is that going to do? So what's going to happen is this cold condiment on top of this is going to really give it a really nice it's just going to kind of cook everything, a little herb thing. So Piper, I'm going to do a little bit. We finish plating this for you. At the campfire, that's right. What spoon should I use? Let's use this guy. Here we go. All right, ready? I want you to plate this up for me. I want you to do this. So we're going to do right over the top. One big line.
No, don't do
Like
it.
this. So we're going to go just like this. You go right over the top of the whole thing. You got it? You do that for me, kiddo? Thank you. Thank you. This is done. Candy bacon is out. It's over there.
Next to me.
Plated across the room.
She's down.
The chicken over there, the scampi. This is all really, really simple. Again, the pico de gallo. Really, really easy. Of course, all the seasonings. Now, whatever leftover seasoning you have from the candied bacon, you absolutely do on pretty much anything. You can use it to flavor anything with. It'd be a great condiment to use on a.
I'm just gonna.
I don't even know
load this
anything really.
thing.
You can just go crazy. But now look how pretty that is. So remember, our dietitian said, "Eat the rainbow," right? That's perfect, kiddo. Perfect.
Wait, I'm sorry,
One more.
really quickly. Piper, did you say bacon heaven? Did you
Yeah,
tell me
bacon
to
heaven.
enjoy? I am in bacon heaven, yes.
That is it. That is it. Hey, high five.
Sweet golden bacon heaven.
Sweet golden bacon heaven. So easy to do. Guys, we hope you had a great Father's Day. We hope you have a great Father's Day. You can always go and check out what's coming up next. Go to heb.com/classes. We have a great wine class tomorrow night. We hope you'll join us. Also, you can check out that website to find out future classes and what's going to happen, what you can learn. We hope we helped enrich and enlighten and hopefully just a little entertainment as well for the night. You remember, you can always go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/heb. Check out all the past classes. You can stop and rewind, Charlotte, as much as you want, as many times as you want to do it, for all the great
You
tips
can
and
do
tricks
it
you may have
like
missed.
200 times.
250 times.
Or
As many times
hit
as you want.
200 and 1,000 or
And as many times as you want to watch
anything
it.
as many
Go to our
times
YouTube channel.
and
Piper,
over.
can you say thank you to everybody?
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you so much for allowing us into your homes. Chef Charlotte, thank you. Anything else we missed?
Nope, you guys did a great job. I'm over here in bacon heaven.
You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a great Father's Day and a great blessed rest of the
Happy
week.
Father's Day, Tompkins.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy Father's Day.